I was going to say. But I did want to reiterate that the young people's word today is awesome. It's awesome that you all came so far, you friends and schoolmates and relatives, to give this tribute to Brandon and Christine and their parents. It's a real tribute, and it's awesome. Brandon has been my main man. By himself, actually, for about 17 years. And then my second main man came along. And that was Charlie, and the third is Davis, and the fourth is Samuel, and the fifth was Max. Poor little Logan got left out again. She needed some help. Maybe you'll get it soon. When John had a real job, working for Northwestern Bank, he worked from 9 to 5. And so on weekends they'd come over to the house a lot. And John, he hadn't been there 10 minutes and his eyes would start getting red. And he said, "I'm going in and watch television." And he'd put a pillow down on the floor and get in front of the television, and he watched it through his closed eyes all afternoon. And then when Brandon came along, Ann would bring him over to the house, and I'd cut grass, and I had a wheel horse tractor. Some of you may remember riding tractors. And he was probably 6 months to a year old. Well, I'd take him in my arm, I'd get on the tractor and start the motor, and I'd look down at him and his eyes would be shut. And I'd cook the whole yard and he'd be asleep from the time he left. And I told his grandmother, "We got us another sleeper." Was in school, we thought he might be an artist because he painted a portrait for me, and it was magnificent. We thought we were going to have another Picasso or whatever. And he painted this portrait of this beautiful woman, and her eyelashes just curled properly, and the brush strokes were just so. And I brought it for you all to see. The Smithsonian hasn't called me yet, but they might. And here it is. Some of you will remember the pet rock era. He painted this pet rock. And I'd like to examine it closely after we get through here. I'm sure it will be amazing. But I put it on my desk shelf, or my office shelf, and I look at it every once in a while and I think about Big B. And the good times we did have. And Brandon, as he went through school, became, you know, he was a perfectionist, would beat himself up if things didn't go just right. And during the tennis days, he'd lose a tennis match and he'd mope and beat himself up really terribly. And one time we went out and played golf together, and he wanted to put on, I'm sure, a good show for his grandfather. And he had probably the worst day he ever had in his life. In fact, I don't even know if he played anymore after that. But the more he beat himself up, the worse he got. And the only salvation was that his grandfather was a good plumber when it came to golf. And then it came time to go to school, and I knew the brainwashing would begin. And I'm reluctant to say all this because I'm so outnumbered. Alan says he'll back me up. And, but John would be telling Brandon what a great school Carolina was.
Hear, hear.
And I'd counteract that every time I'd see Brandon. I'd say, Brandon, Carolina is a good school. You ought to consider it. It's a good second-rate school. And then I'd say something like, well, are you going to Carolina? Are you going to get an education? But Brandon never said a lot. And he had a mind of his own. And so he ended up at WNL. And graduated with honors that we were very proud of. Then he went on to Georgia Tech. Got his master's, came out west. Of course, we wanted him to stay in Charlotte. Anybody you love and want to be around, but that's selfish. He's got his own life to live. So he went west. And he met Christine. And we could see this coming a long time before. But she's a beautiful girl, and he found the right one. And
yeah, he did.
And he became real buddy-buddy before he popped the question. He knew what he was getting, and she knew what she was getting, and we only wish you the best of life.
Yes.
And I won't say you'll have a lot of children, but it sure is cold out here.
Oh, yeah, you can
15 or maybe 55 people say, might as well go home now because I don't want to follow that one. And I do hesitate to follow that, but Papa, I love you, so I will try. My name is Cashion, and I have the pleasure of growing up with Brandon. The Chalk family is my second family. And I know a man is not supposed to cry, but I'll try and hold it together. But when I see one of my all-time heroes, John Chalk, cry, and see my second mother Ann cry, and Vaughn's crying over my shoulder,
you're in good company, right?
I may lose it.
Yeah.
So, as boys during the summertime, Brandon and I would often go to our family farm, where we would swim in the river and canoe and, of course, jump off of the rope swing. So our favorite thing to do was look for the highest, greatest tree to string a rope swing. As you can imagine, Brandon's job was to climb the tree. I think I was cut off from climbing trees after I fell out of the tree in the Chalk's backyard and broke my wrist. My job was always to paddle the canoe, which held our supplies, you know, the logs, the steps, the nails, the hammer, and Brandon, and this is no joke, Brandon would shimmy the tree, the highest tree we could find. He would tie a rope, and then we would construct the ladder. So on this particular occasion, we found this great tree. And we were going to maximize, we were going to really maximize our swing. This was a great tree, had 35 feet of rope hanging, right? So Brandon shimmies the tree, as was his job, strings up the rope, beautiful job. And then he was going to lower himself on the rope. Well, perhaps you've climbed a rope in gym class before, but sometimes we slip. So Brandon started to lose his grip, and he started to slide down the rope. And at any point, he could have dropped into the river below. But the plan was to lower himself. So Brandon held tight. And I will swear to you to this day that when he hit the water, I heard his hand sizzle. He had burnt all of the skin off of his palms. And I was scared to death of Mrs. Chalk, who was showing up shortly thereafter to take us to Bald Head. But nonetheless, Brandon had burnt all of the skin off of his palms. It was literally smoking hot. Smoking hot. So I used this story to make 3 points. Brandon and Christine continue to reach for the highest heights, for one another and with one another. Hold tight to one another and for one another, just as Brandon did that rope. And if you do, may you enjoy a love that is always smoking hot.
Scott, are you coming out? You coming out, Scott?
I'm Scooter. And, in the 13 years that I've known Maynard, he has never once called me by my real name, which is why I call him Maynard. So, in that 13 years, we've been through quite a bit. Maynard has literally carried me down a mountain, and that was horrific for both of us. During that time, while he was trying to distract me from my grotesque dehydration, he was telling me about how he was one day going to find his mountain chick. And even in my delirium, I didn't think it was ever going to actually happen. Because he has gotten one thing from his dad, and that is that he's very particular. But I was ecstatic when I finally met Christine, and he really has found his perfect mountain chick. So, I love you guys.
The girls that all have the notes up here. But I'm not going to read a speech, so we'll see how this goes. But Christine was a new teacher at VMS, and I was paired up as her mentor, which is pretty ironic because we ended up, she has actually taught me much through the years. But we immediately hit it off and became biking buddies, athletic buddies, drinking buddies. She was pretty much the only girl I could go out with heels on, which was wonderful. Yeah. So as we were, 23, 24 in Vail, she was a great partner in crime. And there's one particular story having to do with athletics that I have to tell just to kick this off. But we were one morning bright and early in the fall in Vail going for a long bike ride that was going to be maybe an hour, hour and a half. And we were starting up going west through Minturn, and we were going to head up Battle Mountain Pass. And it was a chilly morning, and I actually didn't road bike at the time. I had a mountain bike, and so we're heading out. Christine has a road bike. I'm on my mountain bike. It's cold. We stop. She gets a hot chocolate, and we're just, maybe 3 miles into the ride at this point, and I get a pair of gardening gloves with some rubber tips on them because I had no biking gloves at the time. So, we get to the top of the pass that we were going to climb that day, which is Battle Mountain Pass, and Christine and I look at each other and we're like, maybe we should just go ahead and go a little further. So we actually chose to do this enormous mountain loop, which is called the Leadville Loop, which is 75 miles. And I don't know what really struck us that day, but it was kind of the beginning of this really intense athletic friendship, which she has been able to continue with Brandon, which is so amazing. So we continue this bike ride, and I'm kind of going, my rear is really hurting. She actually gets on my mountain bike, and I get on her road bike. We switch it up, and if you're not a biker, there's a huge difference. And so this was a really nice favor she was doing for us. So anyway, we continue along. We get into Copper, have a nice lunch, and climb up. And so this is not only a 75-mile ride, but there are 5 mountain passes that are all over 10,000 feet. So we're coming up on our 5th mountain pass, and the day is actually, this is taking like 8 hours now at this point, so it was a long ride. And we climb up, we get to the top of Vail Pass, and I'm like, Christine, we almost made it. This is amazing. We set out this morning, we had no idea what we were going to do. We had no food, we weren't prepared. And so we get to the top of Vail Pass, and it starts hailing. I mean, like, the biggest hailstorm you've ever seen. And we're coming down. She's got these skinny road bike tires. I'm scared to death. And we are just about hypothermic. We make it into Eastvale. And at that point, I have to admit, we actually hitchhiked back to Westville the last 5 miles because we are so cold. And that was just the beginning of this amazing friendship for us. And you know, many other stories, like, for example, we decided one day it would be a great idea, and I think late September, to go tubing down the Eagle River. So we're in bikinis. We're like, oh, this is great. This is before I had any experience on rivers, didn't realize quite how cold they were. So we have these giant inner tubes we just bought at the gas station and filled up. And so we get on the river and we start going down, and we had left our cars like 5 miles downstream. And so we finally, like, after half a mile, we're like, it's just freezing cold, can't make it. We're hitting rocks with our bums. It's just not going how it was supposed to. So we actually go out on Highway 6. And we're sitting there in our bikinis and our giant tubes. So we end up getting picked up by, luckily it was a friend who had a big pickup truck, and so we hopped in the back and got back to our cars. But anyway, I mean, I could go on and on. There's just one more quick story about him. I'm sorry. This is great, because Christine really pulled out in me this talent that I really still don't have, but I love to try to foster, and that's my lack of artistic side. She truly is amazing. We would have actually art night in Vail. Girls would get together and we would chit-chat, and this was so wonderful because Brandon's grandfather brought out that rock, and it's so funny because I don't have my rock with me, I wish I did, but Christine, for our first art night, had us pick river rocks, and we actually painted them to be whatever we saw in the rock, and I happened to see a jaguar in my rock. And, you know, you have to squint really hard to see it, but Christine saw this beautiful butterfly, and I actually still have it in a place in Vail, and it's like a centerpiece on a table. It's beautiful. But anyway, she actually enticed me to create a wedding present one time, which was a mosaic to go around a frame, and this was for our good friend Julia, who's here. And anyway, so we got together one night and we started making this thing, and I'm like, okay, let's just, you know, break the tile pieces, stick them in, you know, just totally random, chaotic order. She's like, yeah, looks good, Lizzie. Well, so we finished the night, and I think, oh, this thing looks wonderful. And then the next day I see her and I see the mosaic, and it's like totally rearranged in this mountain scene. And I'm like, well, when did the mountains come in here? She had like completely redone it and made this amazing piece of artwork that really it was a blessing that my artistic talent wasn't left in that, but it was so fun to do it with her. And so I really appreciate all that she brings to the table, and really, I have no artistic talent, but she draws out in people these things that are so wonderful, and it's so fun to just be around her. I'll do just about anything because it's such a pleasure to be with her. And you know, I have to say just a few words about Brandon. I'm sorry, I'm going on. Brandon and I met each other through a woman who I shared a classroom with, actually at VMS. I've known Brandon back since the days when Randy was a puppy, and it's been so wonderful to see the two of them grow through this friendship. In fact, the three of us climbed the Grand Teton together as friends, and I mean, what an amazing experience, which for me was like the hardest thing in my life. I was sore for like 4 days. I couldn't go downstairs. So to know that they've done mountains that are so much more intense than the Grand Teton, and been such an amazing team together, and had just wonderful experiences, that to me is just so amazing. climbed one mountain with them. It was a 14er that I ended up skiing, and there were tears several points along the way for me, and I can only imagine what it would be like to climb some of the mountains they've climbed, and I do hope that they are the second couple to become the second couple to do all 7 summits, which they are well on their way. My final words here is that I know they're going to get a little embarrassed at this, but I just know what wonderful parents they're going to be, because if you've ever spent any time around them with their dogs, okay, climbing mountains with Christine, she will bring a blanket to put on the ground for Kona, because Kona's so little she'll get cold and start shivering. And then we were at Lake Powell, and she was actually protecting Kona from the sun. I mean, it is the most amazing thing to see. And one weekend we took care of Rainey, and Brandon was actually calling on the hour on Rainey. So I tell you, they couldn't be more perfect for each other. I'm so happy for you. I love you both. Here's to Brandon.
Well then, can everyone hear me? Yeah. I don't think I know how to really work this at all, so this is tough. Going last, I don't even know where to begin. But when Brandon first asked me to do a speech tonight, I was really, really nervous. But then, as I thought about it, I was really excited because I have so many funny stories that I'd love to tell you guys that all of our friends know, but a lot of you guys don't. So, my name's Jason Weingast, and I'm a friend of Brandon and Christine's for a while. I like to think I'm their Sherpa, but really, I'm just a guy that tags along and just tries to get on every single trip. So I got a speech that I made. I don't think we're going to have to worry about me crying. We just have to worry about me getting kicked out. And that's pretty easy. I've gotten kicked out of a lot worse places than this. I'm going to try. So the first time I ever met Brandon, I didn't know about this guy. I thought he was an idiot. But I just had to learn about Brandon's special style of aloofness and lackadaisical laissez-faire attitude towards planning. He was on a trip and we were going skiing, camping, and he had no idea. I had no idea what we were doing, and he was supposed to be leading. There was a lot of confusion on that trip anyway. He thought I was 10 feet tall, which was a little weird. We got that. So obviously you all know Brandon's a really, really smart guy. So we've done a lot of other camping trips together, and we've become closer. And then there was one trip where we became really, really close. It was a trip we're going to do the Maroon Bells, and when we go cowboy camping at the trailhead, I like to bring a mattress, a big thick one. It fits about 1.5 people on it. Maybe my wife and me can fit comfortably on it. And on the way down, our friend Jesse lets me know. I said, "Hey, I forgot my air mattress. Can I sleep on it with you?" I'm like, "All right, fine. You can sleep on me." We're all ready to go to bed, and then Brandon comes over and like, "Hey, buddy, I forgot my air mattress. Can I join with you guys?" Middle of the night, it deflates. 3 of us crammed on there, but we had a great time. It was a wonderful trip. We became a lot closer after that. Keep going here. It's not a mystery why Brandon and I are such good friends. I mean, we're so alike. I mean, we're tall, we're handsome. We both have a little bit of a weight problem. Funny accents. Now on to KL. Christine. First time I really remember Christine coming in the scene was the time we were going to have to tell Rainey that we thought her father was dead. So we go out, normal like Val during the ski season, having a couple drinks, and then Brandon thinks that he really needs to stay hydrated and drinks like 1.5 buckets of Red Bull vodka. We lose him, he disappears, ends up on the Vail transportation system, and actually finds his way over to Christine's house. And I don't even think Christine was home at the time. But that's when I think he started to realize that he really started liking Christine. And we all started liking Christine at that time. So as the time went on, we all became friends, and Christine and Brandon became much closer, and we went and did Denali together, and that was just a wonderful trip, And after about 22 hours of straight hiking downhill for, I don't know, 12,000 feet or something like that, we get to the bottom, and we are beyond exhausted. I mean, exhausted. And they tell us that we're going to have to hike another mile straight uphill to get to the landing strip for the plane. And we were like, no way, no way. Christine is the strongest person I know. She grabs all the group gear, hikes it all the way up to the landing strip, comes back, and then helps us all get the rest of our gear. When I knew that Christine was just perfect for the both of us. So, over the years, we've had a lot of adventures together, a lot of highs and lows, and I want to talk about a couple of those. And unfortunately, most of me finished the PE examination. That was a wonderful feeling. The low, watching Brandon get sick after people fed him drinks out of a measuring cup. High. Here's a high. Summoning Denali. Here's the low. Descending Denali. A high. The default volume of Brandon's 80s music. The low. Speaking with the cops and the neighbors about the default high volume. One of my favorite highs, spending time with the dogs. They're the best. I love them. The low, spending the time with the dogs when they're wet and smelly in the back of your car when you're riding around on a dirt road back in Wavy. An extra low is when I watch my wife getting sick after getting into the car after spending the time with the rainy and smelly. So, I just want to say, we've had so many great memories, we have so many great more memories to go for, and I'm just so excited to be a part of their relationship and be a part of their life, and to summit Everest with them is going to be just a wonderful attempt. We're going to go for it, and I couldn't pick, I'm so lucky because I couldn't pick smarter, more capable, fun people to do this with, so I am just blessed. So if everyone could just raise their glasses.
I know you stumbled over here. Oh, this is fantastic. Awesome. This is the best. This is one of the best events I've had of my life. This is great having all you guys here. Gosh, all you guys who gave toast, Pop. Love you, man. Thank you, buddy. You're the best. Absolutely. Suze and Scooter and LJ Allen, little J-Boy, Lizzie, all you guys, and Mr. Cashion, I love him, friend for life for sure. You guys, you're the best. I love all of you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for everyone coming far and wide to come to Telluride. I love this place. I think it's the best place in Colorado. I'm glad I get to share it. We get to share it with every one of you. And I'm just glad. I'm so glad the weather worked out. It'd be bad if there were tornadoes. 32 inches of powder here. Caleb would love that. It's in. The runs are in. We can ski off the deck. Into the alley. It's in, buddy. But I'm just glad it's good weather. It's fantastic. It's this is 100% prime time Colorado weather, and I'm glad all of you get to experience that who came far and wide. And It's awesome. It's overwhelming, but I love this dinner, and I love all of you. And Mom and Dad, thank you so much for hosting this dinner. I love it so much. I was gonna get you. I love her dress. I love the 80s.
The 80s prom.
80s prom. But no, I just thank you so much, everyone. I know it's a haul to get here. I've done it myself everywhere, all over this continent for weddings and everything, international, whatever. But I really appreciate you guys coming. And Colorado folk, we love you, and I love all of you guys being here. And I love that you get to celebrate with us in our big day tomorrow.
It's a big one.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll love Garano. It's a good place, fantastic view, over 10,000 feet. Got to get married over 10,000 feet. And we look forward to having all of you guys with us tomorrow.
You have oxygen up there.
Oxygen will be available upon request, Alzie. But I love this lady next to me, and thank you for sharing this with us. Yes, Christine, I'm going to say a few words.
Probably said most of it, but we just really appreciate you guys all coming, because Telluride is not easy to get to, and we realize that. And I think that when we've talked about where we would move after Vail, I've kind of been opposed. I mean, I love Telluride. I love Telluride. But my only hesitation is that I'm like, I don't know if anyone would ever come see us. But if everyone in this room came here tonight, then people would come see us. So, Telluride, you would all come see us. So thank you so much for coming, and we love you all. And thank you to John and Ann for tonight, and thank you to my parents for tomorrow, and thank you to everyone for being here. So.
Cheers. Party tomorrow.